Alrighty. This is rumor speculation territory. This could be just to gin up flavor for the movie coming out soon. But Spider-Man is supposed to be getting a fifth movie already before the fourth one's even out. And I'm like, huh? And I see kind of what they've been doing. They're putting everything on that little twink Spider-Man's back. Going to hold the whole MCU together, which, if we're being honest, they should have done right after Endgame. He should have been the Tony Stark of the next three phases, which could have made the Kang Dynasty far more interesting. You know, this little guy, he's got Stark tech, which like if you watch the Avengers cartoon, not the one in the 90s, but the one in the 07, 08, which I kind of don't like how they did this, where it was Kang's technology was based on Stark technology. So I'm like, okay, so then that was the McMuffin to be able to get in and break into his technology, but then it never. Well, there's a couple things, but when we get to those shows, I'll talk about those. But, so could have done a lot of stuff that was really interesting with Tom Holland being either the Iron Man of the next 2-3 phases, culminating in a Secret Wars, which would have made more sense if you actually had a proper Doctor Doom and a proper Kang the Conqueror, and all this stuff being correct instead of what was slopped out to the masses. And I was thinking about it because everybody's talking about how Fantastic Four was an awful movie. Yeah, it was, but it was basically because Pedro Pascal. I'm tired of seeing that son of a bitch everywhere. So that didn't help it. And then the fact that they're kind of being like, oh, we couldn't save our Earth, so we just bounced out. And you could have had it all within the 616 universe if they had writers that gave a shit or knew anything about the property. You know, I don't understand how they can get these comic books so wrong since 2016, but they still have pretty good cartoons. The stories are pretty on top of it. Lore accurate. So I'm just like, what the hell? So anyway, I see this big push to get Spider-Man to hold the universe together, perhaps through the Doomsday and the Secret Wars, but I'm just like, and then he's not going to be in another movie anymore. So you're going to get a new Spider-Man, a new Twink Supreme. Okay, but I'm just like, what are you guys doing? They don't know. That's the problem. And there's all of us out here in the ether, the interwebs, at comic book stores that are left, saying like, well, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Because they don't want to. They don't care. They don't think superhero films can make any more money for them. So this is their last ditch effort. Or just to really just drive it home that they're never going to make any money, so we can't do it anymore. Which is what I think Doomsday really is. Doomsday is we're driving past the wall, inside, black pudding, just no good. Because the fourth Spider-Man movie is going to be the tie-in to Doomsday, but where was the build-up for anything? Because wasn't Fantastic Four supposed to be the build-up to that? So now you're putting it all on Spider-Man to get it all done. I always had a joke that Spider-Man was Marvel's bitch because in every comic book, he would show up. Every new comic book, from Transformers to Sleepwalker to NFL Super Pro, you had Spider-Man show up to validate the book. So, I don't know. Is this the other Hail Mary? Is this just what they're doing? Does he have a tramp stamp on that says property of Marvel Entertainment or property of Disney? Ugh, even worse. Well, anyway, this is all rumor and speculation. And this is what I think about the rumor and speculation of there being a fifth Spider-Man movie. What would it be? In War World? What the fuck? Anyway, this is what I think about it. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Bye-bye.